Welcome back, curious sailors. This is Martina from Argentina with even more good news. The COVID cases around the fleet have really gone down. The Omicron wave has been dealt with in the best way possible, and now the Serenade of the Seas doesn't need to be a quarantine ship anymore. We have stopped receiving COVID positive cases from the other ships, and we're getting ready for our dry dock. As a matter of fact, internally we have 0 cases here on board the Serenade of the Seas. Of course, we're still receiving a lot of Simons that are still completing their quarantines because they might get it while they travel, but internally there's no spread of the virus. And with that, Royal Caribbean has decided to dial down on some of its COVID protocols. So on today's video, we're gonna go one by one some of the measures that have been modified. And I do want to address one question that a lot of people asked about my last vlog, where I said that a lot of ports were allowing free flow and a lot of people have not been able to do so. So we're gonna address that as well. Starting up with social distance, that will not be enforced anymore, either for our crew or for our guests. So you won't be seeing any more of these signs in which tables or seats were reserved for social distance, meaning that we're slowly gonna work our way back up to full capacity in our ships. Same goes for the elevators, so you will be able to get around the ship a lot faster. They will not be limited to a certain capacity, and you will be able to mingle with other parties. And speaking about parties, all guest activities will be reinstated. We're gonna have sail away parties, dance parties, sports and poolside and pool activities. And yes, for my fellow crew, we will have access again to our crew bars. As always, don't forget that measures might change depending on the possible potential rise of COVID cases on board. Vaccinated and everyone venues and activities will not be there anymore, so guests will not need to wear wristbands, crew will not need to check those at the entrance of the venues that were before controlled. And another point for the restaurants, in the buffets you will be able to self-serve once again, so you will be able to pick exactly that piece that you had your eyes on. Moving on to masks, crew members will still be asked to wear them while on duty and moving around the ship, but we will have more flexibility at the gym and on open decks where it's going to be optional. And for our cruisers, it's going to be fully optional all around the ship, but as always guys, always encouraged, especially for kids. And speaking about masks, don't forget guys that I have a little design shop that I always link on the description below, where you can find nautical and ocean themed masks, both for crew and for cruisers. And not only masks, there's a lot of goodies, even some that match our Royal Caribbean uniforms that you can wear while you work, like bags, laptop cases, notebooks, and of course fun t-shirts for any ocean lovers. Let's dive now into the topic of vaccines. As you know, on January 15, the CDC's conditional framework for sailing expired and they did not renew it in any way, but most cruise lines in the cruise industry have opted to participate in a voluntary program of vaccination compliance. That means that you will have different tiers with different protocols for that. As you know, Royal Caribbean is one of the cruise lines that is aiming for the highest vaccination, and there's 2 terms that you need to be familiar with. You will be considered fully vaccinated when you have all the initial doses of the COVID vaccine. That would be your 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson or your 2 doses of the other labs like Moderna and Pfizer. And you will be considered up to date with your vaccinations when you get your booster, whenever you are eligible for that. As I mentioned before, Royal Caribbean is now requiring crew members to be willing to get boosters when the time comes, and this will be necessary for you to have your contract on board, at least for now. Depending on your vaccination status, both for crew and for guests, some things might change for you. Your experience might be a little bit different. For example, crew members, depending on their vaccination status, might have the shortest, newest sign-on quarantine that is only 3 days or up to 14 days, or you might be in what we call a soft quarantine once you come on board until you are up to date with your vaccination, meaning you will only be able to leave your cabin to work, you won't be able to go to public areas, even to eat, that will be delivered to you in your cabin until you are fully protected. And protecting others, of course. Another thing that can change depending on your vaccination status is, for example, how often you get tested. whether it be PCR or antigen tests while working on board. Those who are up to date with their booster shots might get tested only once every 2 weeks. Those who are not might need to get tested every week, and always depending on, of course, the amount of cases that might come up on your ship. And as well, we still need to test for traveling and for our embarkation. For guests, for example, one of the things that still might impact your cruise experience if you're not fully vaccinated would be, for example, that some ports might ask you to go only on bubble tours ashore and not free roaming. And speaking of shore leave, what happened, Martina? A lot of people are asking me. I was so happy announcing that so many ports were allowing free flow for crew members. Well, don't forget the other thing that I said, that despite the protocols that each port has, Royal Caribbean has the final word on what they allow us to do, and by the looks of it, they're only allowing us to go out in bubble tours still. So please do leave your comment below. Let us know how it's in your ship, because a lot of people were disappointed, of course, after I told them that. But don't forget that what I was reading was the protocols of each port, and Royal Caribbean said that they would allow free flow as well, but apparently that's not what happened. Of course, here on the Serenade of the Seas, we're not visiting any ports and we are not being allowed shore leave. So as always, help others to be informed by letting us know in the comments. And as always, speaking of which, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like the content here. But the few ports where shore leave is happening freely is in US home ports, including San Juan. Again, for us on Serenade, we have not been approved apparently by the CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol, to go ashore in Tampa. And as always, check out on your HR office what the protocols are in your home port, because it might vary depending on your vaccination status and your immigration status with the US and your home country. I think that's all for now, guys. I will leave you well be prepared for our Serenade of the Seas dry dock. So stay tuned, because a lot of fun things will be coming to the channel. Stay curious, and I'll see you later. Ciao, ciao.